The phenomenon often described as BTS-nomics became vividly tangible when approximately 260,000 fans gathered around Gwanghwamun, transforming the historic heart of Seoul into a living case study of how cultural capital can drive real-world economic revitalization, urban energy, and global visibility. What might otherwise have been an ordinary commercial district, lined with government buildings, traditional markets, cafés, and cultural landmarks, was suddenly reanimated by waves of purple-clad visitors who traveled from across South Korea and around the world to celebrate the music, message, and communal identity fostered by BTS. Hotels reported near full occupancy rates weeks in advance, small restaurants extended their operating hours to meet unprecedented demand, convenience stores saw record sales of beverages and quick meals, and public transportation ridership surged as fans navigated between fan events, pop-up exhibitions, and nearby tourist attractions. Local vendors who might normally rely on seasonal tourism experienced a concentrated economic boost in just a few days, demonstrating how a cultural gathering can function as a temporary but powerful stimulus package for micro-businesses. Street performers and buskers adapted their sets to include K-pop covers, souvenir sellers introduced themed merchandise, and even traditional craft shops benefited as international visitors sought authentic Korean goods to pair with their concert-related purchases, illustrating a spillover effect that extended beyond the immediate fandom economy into heritage commerce. City officials, who have increasingly recognized the role of Hallyu in soft power diplomacy, leveraged the gathering to promote cultural sites such as Gyeongbokgung Palace and the National Museum, effectively converting fan foot traffic into broader tourism engagement that will likely persist long after the event itself. The logistics of managing such a massive influx also highlighted Seoul's infrastructural readiness. Coordinated crowd control, multilingual signage, mobile payment integration, and digital wayfinding apps allowed visitors to move efficiently, reinforcing the city's image as a technologically advanced and tourist-friendly destination. Social media amplified the impact exponentially, with geotag posts, live streams, and fan-made content broadcasting the atmosphere of Gwanghwamun to millions who were not physically present, thereby generating what economists might call attention value, a form of intangible capital that translates into future travel. Intent and brand equity for the city. For policymakers and urban planners, the event offered measurable data points: hotel revenue spikes, transit usage metrics, retail sales growth, and international arrival patterns that can inform future cultural tourism strategies, suggesting that music-driven gatherings can rival traditional festivals in economic yield while requiring comparatively less long-term infrastructure investment. At the same time, the social dimension was equally significant. Fans engaged in organized charity drives, distributed free bottled water, and participated in public safety campaigns, reinforcing the narrative that fandom communities can contribute positively to civic life rather than merely consuming space. This cooperative behavior reduced strain on municipal services and created a festive yet orderly environment, which in turn encouraged local residents, some initially skeptical, to join the celebrations, bridging generational and cultural divides within the city. Academic observers have noted that BTS-related events often function as third spaces, where identity, belonging, and cultural exchange intersect, and Gwanghwamun became a textbook example, with multilingual conversations, spontaneous dance circles, and cross-national friendships forming in real time. The economic multiplier effect extended into digital commerce as well, with Korean beauty brands, fashion labels, and food products associated with the group experiencing online sales surges during the gathering, indicating that physical fan convergence can catalyze e-commerce activity far beyond the event perimeter. Media coverage from international outlets further amplified the narrative, positioning Seoul not only as the home of a globally influential music act but also as a model for how cities can harness pop culture to stimulate urban vitality without sacrificing historical identity. Importantly, the revitalization was not limited to short-term profit. Repeat visitation intent among attendees suggested that many plan to return for future concerts, festivals, or general tourism, creating a pipeline of sustained economic benefit. Local entrepreneurs have begun exploring permanent BTS-themed walking tours, cafés, and experiential retail concepts near Gwanghwamun, aiming to convert episodic fan influxes into year-round revenue streams. Critics sometimes argue that such fandom-driven economies are volatile, dependent on artist activity cycles, Yet the scale and organization of this gathering indicate a level of institutionalization that resembles traditional cultural industries more than fleeting pop trends. Universities and business schools in Korea have already incorporated case studies on BTS-nomics into curricula, analyzing how intellectual property, narrative storytelling, community engagement, and digital platforms combine to produce measurable macroeconomic outcomes. From a sociocultural perspective, the event also reinforced South Korea's positioning as a leader in exporting not only entertainment but also participatory cultural experiences that encourage global audiences to engage physically with Korean spaces. As dusk fell over Gwanghwamun and light installations illuminated the plaza in purple hues, the scene symbolized more than fandom enthusiasm. It represented a convergence of culture, commerce, technology, and urban planning, demonstrating how a music group's influence can ripple outward to reshape economic patterns, enhance city branding, and foster cross-cultural connection on a massive scale. In this sense, the revitalization of Gwanghwamun was not merely a temporary spike in consumer activity but a multidimensional showcase of how contemporary cultural movements can activate public space, empower small businesses, and generate both tangible and intangible value for a global city navigating the competitive landscape of tourism and creative economy leadership.